to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. In this episode, we're just going to talk a little bit about two things, travel and national forest camping. In this episode, I traveled from a conservation area in southern Missouri to a national forest in southern Indiana. So I went from the Robert E. Talbot Conservation Area in Stotts City, Missouri, and drove through to the Hoosier National Forest. So I just want to briefly talk to you about travel, especially with your RV. And I'm just going to tell you what I have found, that national forest camping is something that really appeals to me for a couple reasons. One, you're in a little bit of closer proximity to nature. I have found that the campsites are generally just a little bit larger, and I would compare that to stops like a KOA, even state parks. I really like the space in the national forests, and I like the access to things like hiking trails. On this trip in particular, I traveled about 8 hours of driving in my motorhome for the day, and I set up quickly, and then instead of staying like at a hotel or a KOA where I'm packed in there, or a state park where there's a lot more maybe compactness, and typically there are activities in a state park that are usually designed to attract people. With a national forest setting, you're usually just a little bit more, the draw is the national forest. The draw is nature. The draw is the lake or the hiking paths or some natural features. And so if you're comparing traveling in, like say you're stopping at a hotel on your trip, the evening at the hotel might be going to a restaurant, or going, maybe for me it would be going to the workout room and then watching the news in front of the treadmill. And so for me, national forest camping on a trip as a stop is something that, well, I'll let you compare. You can watch the video, and you can compare what I'm going to see in the national forest to what I might see in a setting where I am going to a hotel and watching CNN or Fox News and taking in all the day's drama in front of a treadmill and eating at the hotel restaurant. I think that national forest camping, for what I like, is just a cut above any other kind of travel. So if you're like looking for a national forest and you're not exactly certain where you're going to be at, or where you're going to end up maybe for the night when you stop driving, I would recommend that you actually look on Google Maps first and see if you can find a national forest. And then you can either go to the National Forest website for that national forest that usually is listed on Google Maps, or you can actually go to what's called forestcamping.com. And it's a website, I think, managed by Fred and Susie Dow, and they list each campground. They list all the amenities of the campground, the camping sites, types that are available, whether they're like for tents or for RVs, or and then they also list different things that you can do while you're there. So keep that website in mind too. Again, it's called forestcamping.com, and I'll include that in the links at the bottom. enjoy the video, and please think about coming back for another episode. So let me get my RV set up here for the evening, and hang on. What's coming is way better than watching the evening news, and wow, is it better than walking on a treadmill.